And then I'm also going to, can I just highlight myself or star myself? Gorgeous. All right, cool. So welcome to advanced training, you guys. Congratulations for finishing your guys' first weekend. So give yourselves a round of applause for finishing your first weekend, which has been huge and been awesome and been incredible. So first thing I want you guys to go ahead and do is take out your guys' notebooks. I want you guys to title this Advanced Training 1. Advanced Training 1. So whatever happened this weekend was supposed to happen. Whether you had a baller first weekend, it hit a couple promotions, it made a couple set sales, or if you had a total flop of a first weekend and everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, that's okay too. Whatever was supposed to happen was supposed to happen. Advanced training is supposed to fix all of those issues and fix all of those problems, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So just to give you an overview of today, I'm going to be giving you guys the 10 keys to hit 10K. Then I'm going to show you guys how to make $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000 in your first 2 months. Then we'll talk about part-time, full-time schedules. We'll dive into the advancement opportunity and all the roles that our company has to offer, so you guys know about the advancement and career opportunity with us. There's a lot more than just the rep position. And then we're also going to be diving into the secret weapon. And what the secret weapon is I'm going to teach you guys how to sell a set every single time you guys do a demo. So pretty cool stuff. Good. Yeah. So you guys just gave me like no reaction at all. So I was like, I'm going to teach you how to sell a set. And you're just, yeah, no, it's exciting. Yeah, you guys can get excited. Woo! So I'm going to teach you guys how to sell a set every single time you guys do a demo. And then we'll wrap up with some names list and some name list building activities, just like we did in training. And then we're going to end today with a phone gym, even though we were phoning for a little bit too. So we got a super stacked agenda, and I just want to start off today with some recognition and some appreciation. So let me go ahead and share my screen with y'all.
Forehead looks very nice on that monitor.
Thanks, I appreciate it. So we got Ben making 2 sales at 426 CPO. So a round of applause for Ben for closing, making some first sales. And then we got Ryder 25 CPO away from hitting his first promotion. You still have you still have tonight, so don't worry. You still have tonight for your first weekend paychecks. And then Nicole, I know we've had our ups and downs. Zach, I know we've had our ups and downs as well, but whatever is supposed to happen was supposed to happen. I cannot tell you guys, I have so many examples and so many stories of representatives that went through their first weekend and either didn't see any success, but finished super strong. I can tell you guys plenty of stories of people started really strong and then they didn't finish strong. So your fast start is in your control. Whatever you want, you can go get it, but it's my job to teach you and point you guys in the right direction. So the first thing I want you guys to go ahead and jot down in your notes is the 10 keys to 10K. We're going to be diving into the 10 keys to 10K. And I want to get you right there. Beautiful. So these are the 10 keys to 10K. So key number 1 to getting to 10K is getting your recommendations and referrals approach memorized. Getting your recommendation and referral script memorized. Because if you guys have a lot of recommendations and referrals to call after your fast start, if you have like 300, 400 people to give a call to versus 3 people to give a call to, it'll help you get to that 10K level a lot easier. So get that that recommendation referral scripts memorized, along with the objections to it as well, along with the objections to get everything memorized. Next is closing. Get pages 8 and 9 memorized. Now, here's the importance of memorizing things and memorizing your scripts. So instead of sounding like a robot saying, as I said earlier, Mrs. Jones, our homemaker set comes with our 8 table knives, the 10 pieces, right? It comes off the tongue a lot easier and sounds a lot more smoother and it sounds more natural, sounds more like you. So that versus, as I said earlier, Mrs. Jones, our homemaker plus 8 comes with that. Those 10 basic tools I explained earlier, the 8 table knives, the wood block, a sharpener for the straight edges, and some cutting boards. It's word for what it is in the script. What was the difference between 1 and 2? I had the script memorized the second time and a lot more energy into it. So getting your closing memorized, along with the objections to the homemaker, those knee-jerk reactions. We spent a lot of time talking about knee-jerk reactions and objections in training. I want to make sure that you guys have those memorized as well. Next is participate in 3 phone jams a week. The more you're phoning, the more demos you're booking. The more demos you're booking, the more money you're making. So we have 3 phone jams per week. We have 3 phone jams per week. These are our phone jam times. On Mondays, it'll be from 11 to 2 every Monday. From 12 to 2. From 12 to 2. So you can see that we got Divinity and Araya on. They're making phone calls. We got Anthony and they're making phone calls. Michaela's hopping back on at 12 o'clock to make phone calls. We got a whole lot of people signed up for phone jam today. Next will be Saturday morning. Saturday morning, we will go from 11 to 1. Saturday morning, we will go from 11 to 1. And then every Friday, we will go from 5 to 7. Those are our 3 phone jams for the week. You should come to those because all of our assistant managers come to those and they're all running branches next summertime and they're all really high in career sales. So you think you should come to phone jams? Yes, come to phone jams. Key number 4 is a weekly field training. A weekly field training. So what a field training is when you take someone to watch your demo, or you go with someone else and watch their demo. So our assistant managers are all field training certified, which means that you can be like, hey, Anthony, can I come and watch you do a demo so I can see how to do things the right way? And you'll see Anthony read the script, drop down, read it word for word, handle the objections and close on something. And then you can see how he asks for recommendations and referrals. Or you can be like, Anthony, I'm really struggling with my demos. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Can you come and watch me do a demo? And then at the end of your demo, he can say, hey, these are the notes that I took. You were doing this really well, but you can have room for improvement on this, and this. So it's having someone watch you do a demo, or you go and watch someone else do a demo. Both are vital, both are key, both are important. And our assistant managers have been getting mad at me because they don't have anyone to field train. So you guys, if you want to do a field training, let me know and I'll connect you with a rep that can do that for you. Key number 5 is a weekly PC with your team leader, AKA me. The more time that you guys spend with me, the more CPO you guys will get. I'm not sure if you guys know this or not. Sold a lot of Cutco in my life. So the more time you guys spend with me, the better off you guys will be. Next is Mission 100, and I put a little star next to this one. Mission 100, getting to as many people on your names list as possible will be key and will be huge. Because if you have 100 people to call, do you think you're booking at least 10, 15, 20 appointments? Yes, absolutely. So always be striving for 100 names and numbers of Mac customers that you can have on your list at all times to give a call to. So Mission 100 is so key and so important. Key number 7 is having 10 demos ahead at all times. As an assistant manager and as a rep, I felt so uneasy and so uncomfortable if I did not have 10 demos ahead at all times. Because if I only have 3 demos ahead and someone cancels and someone reschedules, and then I only have 1 demo ahead and my entire paycheck rides on 1 person, do you think I'm going to have fun in that demo? No. Do you think I'm going to be nervous about making a sale and like really worried about closing or not? Yeah. Do you think I'm going to be catering to my customers' need if I only have 1 demo ahead because I really need to make a sale and I really need them to buy a homemaker and ultimate set? Yeah, it's going to feel bad. It's going to feel really uncomfortable. But if I have 10 demos ahead and someone cancels and someone reschedules, or maybe someone ghosts me and forgets, and I have 7 demos ahead, do those other 3 demos matter if I have 7 ahead? No, not at all. Right? They're blips on the radar. I'll get them rescheduled. So having 10 ahead brings a level of confidence. It also brings a level of like relaxation a little bit, because you know that you don't have to sell big on every single set or every single demo that you do, or you don't have to sell a set every demo that you do, because you have multiple demos ahead and you know you can add up a bunch of small orders to make sure you have a big week. And it also just guarantees you guys a paycheck. We get paid per demo. We get paid on our sales. If we don't have any demos, we're not getting paid and we're not making sales. And my number 1 job is to make sure that you guys are making money, that you guys have a plan, and that you're happy. And if you don't have 10 demos ahead, I know for a fact you're not going to be making money. So Always strive for 10 demos ahead at all times. Key number 8, 5 before and 5 after. 5 before and 5 after. Do a demo, book a demo. Do a demo, book a demo. Zach did a great job of this weekend. He had someone cancel on him, and I was like, just do a quick little phone jam. He ended up booking 2 demos from that. So he did a demo, or he didn't do a demo, but he replaced the demo that canceled and got another one, which was huge, right? That's a tip and that's a trick for success. 5 before, 5 after works. And if you can consistently have demos ahead, you consistently have something to look forward to. Now, in training, we had no demos ahead, and we had to work really hard. We spent a lot of time making phone calls, right? I don't want you guys to have to sit down and phone for hours and hours and hours and hours every single week to get that and replicate that. Break up your phoning time throughout your demos so that you're doing demo booking, doing a demo booking demo. So you don't have to sit down for 3 hours and crank out to make 10 demos. Thumbs up if that makes sense. Gorgeous. Next, time management and event attendance. Event attendance is huge. Event attendance is huge. And you guys all went to training and you guys are all here. So that's perfect. You guys are off to a great start. You guys are off to a great start. So why is event attendance so key and so important? Why is event attendance so key and so important? Because every single event that we'll do will have a phone jam in it, along with learning a new skill. And the more you learn, the more you earn. That's the next thing I want you guys to write down. The more you learn, the more you earn. So if you guys are learning a bunch about Cutco and you're learning how to close more, you're learning how to sell more, you're learning how to make more phone calls, you're learning how to build your names list, you're learning how to do all these amazing things. When you take it to your demos and take it to your appointments and your presentations, it will lead to your guys' sales success. And the more sales that you guys are making, the more money that you guys are making. It's a direct impact. 90% of this job is showing up. If you show up, I will set you up for success. It's as simple and as easy as that. Just got to show up. It's just like school. If you show up, you'll get a 3.0. It's like easy. Just show up. And then next, kind of tacking on with the more you learn, the more you earn. We have a Cutco podcast on all streaming platforms. It's called Changing Lives, Selling Knives. Called Changing Lives, Selling Knives. And let me share this with you guys. So my peeps who are watching this know what it looks like. It's called Changing Lives, Selling Knives. It's by Dan Cassetta. And Dan Cassetta is the region manager of the Western region. He is very good at what he does, and he does a podcast, and you can see there's 415 episodes, a lot of stuff. So what Dan does is he takes past Cutco reps or current Cutco reps, and they just talk about their experience, and you get some tips, some tricks, and some keys on how the job really works. And it's pretty cool. So a couple episodes that I recommend watching is episode number 3 with Angie McDougall. She's an absolute certified badass. There's no other way to explain it. Angie is the freaking man. So episode number 3, episode number 4 and 5. Hal Elrod, he talks about habits and how to have the success for habits. Episode number 6 with Lloyd Reagan. Lloyd is our Southwest region manager. So he's part of Rocky Mountain Division. And then the last one, I think it's episode 41. Episode 41 is with Drew Frank, our Rocky Mountain Division manager, the guy from the videos. He is really, really good, and you can talk about and learn a little bit more about Drew, his backstory, and all that fun stuff. But that will be key number 10. The more you're learning about Cutco, the more you're earning, and you'll be inspired, motivated, and looking forward to the next thing as well. You get to hear about all the amazing and incredible people that this business attracts, and what you can do with this business post working with Cutco, where you can do this business. What could you do with this business currently, and if you ever decide to leave, what those skills for life really do and what it really teaches you guys, which is really cool as well. So I don't like how this is formatted now. Single page. There we go. Cool. So next thing I kind of want to go ahead and talk about is the advancement opportunity and just review some of the things that happens at certain levels. So in your guys' script and in your guys' manual, this is going to be on page 32. I think, can someone fact check me on this? Page 32 in your guys' script. Does 32 have a pay breakdown?
Yeah.
Awesome. I knew it. So this is also on page 32. It's like a breakdown of how many demos it will take to hit certain levels, how much money you'll make when you hit these certain levels as well. But also I want you guys in your script and in your manuals to put these little stars next to certain levels, because once you hit certain sales levels, you qualify for certain things throughout the advancement process as well. So the first star I want you guys to put down is once you guys get to 30%, that is dirty 30. That is dirty 30. Now, dirty 30 is a very big goal to get to, because once you're at 30%, you can work a part-time schedule, but make full-time income. So this week, if you sell $1,000, you'll make $100 in income because you're at 10%. It pretty much matches that effort, but you can put the same amount of effort in. And if you're at 30%, you're now receiving $300. So you're putting the same amount of work, but now receiving triple the reward, which is huge. So get to 30% as soon as possible. At Dirty 30 as well, if you sell $10,000 in the campaign, you also qualify for our Dirty 30 event. So every single campaign, Drew will do something fun for everyone who hits 10K in the campaign. In the fall, we do a lot of Nuggets games, a lot of Avalanche games as well. So you guys will get to go to Denver and hang out with me, Drew, all the CSPs and everyone else who hits 10K for the campaign. You guys get spoiled. So every single campaign at a minimum shooting for 10K is going to be huge. At $15,000 in sales, you guys get qualified for something called sharpening training. You guys get qualified for sharpening training. Now, what is sharpening training? Sharpening training is you get to learn how to sharpen our serrated double D-edge knives. So when you call your customers on the phone, they say, oh, I already own Cutco. You can say, hey, no worries at all. When's the last time you got it sharpened? They're going to be like, I've never sharpened it. You're like, cool, let me come over and sharpen it. You'll either sharpen their knives or you'll send it back to the factory for them. And that is what our CSPs do. It's a different style of demo. It's not like, here's my blue book, let me read my script. You'll get a script that you have to memorize for our service call approach, and then you sell and upgrade and kind of do a different style of demo to your customers as well. And then the last level is at $20,000. At $20,000 in sales, you guys get to be part of our Fair and Show program. Now, what is our Fair and Show program? Well, show of hands, has anyone here ever been to like the Pueblo State Fair or Colorado Farmers Market, something like that, or the Pueblo State Fair? And you guys know how people set up those booths and they're a bunch of small businesses selling stuff. You guys will have a Cutco booth with a bunch of Cutco knives, and people are going to come up and say, is this Cutco? You're going to say, yep. They're going to be like, I've been meaning to buy some Cutco. You're going to say, perfect, here you go. And you're going to write up an order, write up the sale. They're going to say, oh, this is Cutco. And you're going to say, yep. They're like, oh, I already own Cutco. I need a new paring knife. Beautiful, here you go. And people come up to you and they buy from you, which is awesome. So it's warm leads of people coming and having an interest in you. The craziest thing I've ever seen is Robert Danbury. He sold a ultimate set to this guy in 5 minutes. So you get to learn some very high level advanced sales skills, and we are looking to grow our Cutco sales professional team. Our CSPs have been on me about getting some more CSPs on the team and getting some new people to join our Fair and Show team. We have a lot of fairs and shows that go unbooked, so there's a lot of opportunity for income, a lot of opportunity from growth, and a lot of opportunity to learn from the best of the best. Rocky Mountain Division has the best show team in the entire company. Curtis J. Hughes, the #1 rep in Cutco history, is in Rocky Mountain Division, and you guys will get to learn literally from the #1 rep in our company history. So once again, you guys lucked out by living in Colorado. It's kind of weird, but we're like we're the HQ of selling a lot of knives. So you guys will get to learn from people like him. Every single one of our CSPs is in the Cutco Hall of Fame. And to get into the Cutco Hall of Fame, you need to sell $2 million with the Cutco personally. Every single one of our CSPs has sold over $2 million with the Cutco personally and is in the Hall of Fame. Other Cutco sales professionals from across America fly to Colorado to learn from our CSPs, and you guys get it for free since you're in Rocky Mountain. Yeah, some pretty cool shit, right? So, yeah, literally. So next thing that I'm going to go ahead and dive into and talk about a little bit is I just want to talk about the advancement opportunity. So I want to talk about the advancement opportunity. So I'm going to say a level, and I'm going to have them up here. So for example, we're going to talk about AMITs, or assistant managers in training. I want you guys to write AMITs and then a brief description about what that position is and what that position does, so that you guys know what every single position is, what they do, how they get paid, and all that other fun stuff. Sound good? Cool. So the first level is our AMIT, which stands for Assistant Manager in Training. This is kind of the first step in advancement. This is someone who I think has assistant manager potential, but they just need to get trained on becoming an assistant manager. So they train for either 1 to 6 weeks, and they have the opportunity to be promoted to an assistant manager. It's not just because you're an AMIT does not mean that you are going to be an assistant manager. It just means you have a chance and an opportunity to become an assistant manager. Next is an assistant manager. So assistant managers help run the office. They get dual income by selling additionally from, they get dual income by selling and additional pay from the office. The way pay is broken down is they get a percentage of all office sales, depending on roles and responsibilities. So SparkNote version, they become a partial owner of the office, and they'll make anywhere from 1 to 0.5%. So if they're making 1% and our office sells $10,000, they'll get $100 extra in their paycheck every week from the office. What's also really cool is that their sales count towards office sales. So if you're at 30% as an assistant manager and you're at 1% assistant manager pay, you're paying yourself twice. So you get paid 31% of all of your sales, which is pretty cool as well. So that's how our assistant managers get paid. Our assistant managers have 3 major roles, and here are the 3 roles of an assistant manager. 1, to help build the team. Do you guys remember all those people that you recommend to the job in training? My assistant manager's job is to call those people and get them set up for interviews. So that's what our assistant managers do. Those are going to be the ones that are calling your people and setting them up for interviews. The next thing that our assistant managers are responsible for is training, teaching, and coaching our mentors. So doing field trainings, doing PCs and one-on-ones with you guys. That's something else that they're responsible for. Sorry, I almost died right there. Goddamn. And then the third thing that they're responsible for is leading by example in the personal sales. So building the team, coaching the team, and then focusing on their own personal sales. That's what our assistant managers are responsible for. Next is a sales manager. What a sales manager is. A sales manager is my right-hand person. I currently don't have a sales manager, so I can't give you an example of someone. Fair enough. But what our sales manager is, they're a full-time lead assistant manager in the office, and pretty much they're the leader of the assistant managers when I'm not around. So if I were to fall and break my leg, knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but a sales manager would be able to step up into my role and help coach the other assistant managers and help run the daily operations of my office. So it's pretty much my right-hand person. Do you guys remember how I talked about Anna Wakefield in training? Anna Wakefield was my sales manager. So she helped me run my branch office. The next one is a branch manager. And what a branch manager is our summer internship opportunity. It is our summer internship opportunity. They work for 4 months out of the year, from May until August. And what they do is they conduct interviews, run training, and help develop a sales force. So basically, they do everything that I do for 100 days. And you get to do this between your semesters. So if you're in school currently, so like for example, Ben, I know you're in school. So you could do this between your freshman year and sophomore year of college. That summertime is when you could run a branch office, and it's only available for the summertime as well. So it is a paid internship. Which is pretty groovy. Branch managers also make straight 50%. They make straight 50%. And they're also eligible for all of our international trips, region trips, and you can also hit a company trip as well. So a lot of opportunity for travel. The biggest one, which is the most recent one, which is going to be coming up, is in November. And all of our branch managers, all of our assistant managers, all those peeps that you guys met before we started, all of my branch managers are going to Olean, New York, and they're going to tour the Cutco factory. And we're also going to go to Canada and see Niagara Falls, all 100% for free, paid for by the company, which is pretty cool. So a lot of opportunity for travel as a branch manager. Next is our PSM or our DOM, which stands for Pilot Sales Manager or Division Office Manager. And what this person is responsible for is running the daily operations of the pilot office, which is the largest office in the division with the largest sales volume. Translation, it's the Drew Frank internship in translation. So Drew's office is the division head office. So he's our division manager, and Drew has his own office in South Denver. And so you'd be running the South Denver office. So you'd be responsible for doing interviews, trainings, teachings, coachings, because Drew is a really busy guy. He works with us as district managers. He works with all of our branch managers. He also heads our CSP team. He also does a lot of stuff in corporate, and he doesn't have the time to sit down and run an advanced training or run interviews or run trainings. So what Drew will do is he will teach you how to do all of those things, and you get to learn from the GOAT himself, and you run the daily operations of his office. Super cool, super awesome. It is like the Drew Frank internship. That's what I like to call it as. And that's also paid as well. Next is our CSP opportunity, or our Cutco sales professionals. And what these guys do, it is full-time sales and is our career opportunity. Our CSPs sell anywhere from $150 to $150 plus, $100,000 to $150,000 plus in a single year. Last year, the lowest person on our CSP team sold $230,000, and they make 50%. So you can do the math. A lot of freaking money. A lot of freaking money. So our CSPs are also working at 50% commission. They're eligible for bonus, contest, and company trips as well. So you guys remember how I showed you all those pictures of me hanging out in all those different countries and stuff? The CSPs are also invited to all of those, which is pretty cool. And then I might be a little biased, but my favorite position and the best position is our district manager opportunity. Is our district manager opportunity. And that's what Yippaway is. I'm a district manager. So our district manager opportunity. So it is our career position. Income is anywhere from $50,000 to $300,000, and you manage your office year round. You're eligible for company trips, as well as monthly, campaign, annual, and weekly bonuses. I get so many bonuses, I sometimes don't even know what they're for. But like last week, I got a $1,000 bonus in my bank account, and I was like, "Cool, just thanks, Vector, $1,000 in my account." No, I also get like bonuses in my commission statements and all this other stuff. It's really dope. And income is between anywhere from $50,000 to $300,000. So you guys remember how I told you guys the story of training, how I graduated college on a Friday, drove back home Saturday, and opened my branch office on a Sunday. Hi, this is Taylor. Say hi to Taylor.
Hello.
Anthony's in there, and he has all your work for you. So, and yeah, she's a stud. Anyway, so I graduated school my first 8 months on the job, because I graduated in May. I made $52,000, and every single year that's gone up. So out of college, I was making $52K a year, which is pretty dope. Making 6 figs now, which is awesome. But anyway, you also are eligible for our BMW and Tesla program, which I'm about to take advantage of. So what Cutco does is Cutco puts $500 into your account on a monthly basis to help pay off your car. And it can either be a BMW or a Tesla. Doesn't matter what Tesla, what make, what model, but BMWs, they have to be black, and then like a Series 3, I think, or something weird like that.
We're going to the store.
Beautiful. Bye.
See ya.
Say hi to you.
Right.
Bye.
And then So it has to be BMW or a Tesla, and you just get $500 a month to pay off your car, courtesy of Uncle Vector. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna be getting mine next month, which is fire. So I'll be whipping around in a Tesla. So might be a little biased on the district manager side of things, but pretty cool shit. Yeah, I know. Twist my arm. Okay, I guess I'll go district manager. I guess I'll get a Tesla.
I have to.
If I have to. Let me check my schedule, and yeah, I'm free. So let's do it. Anyway, next is our division manager. Our division manager is responsible for targeting, developing, mentoring, and overseeing all the offices in the division. They also run the pilot office. So our division manager is Drew Frank. You guys should know that by now. And he runs our Rocky Mountain division office. So all of our divisions come together to make a region. So all the divisions that are in our office or in our region are Rocky Mountain, which is in Colorado, Rising Sun, which is in Arizona, Gulf Coast, which is in Houston, Lone Star, which is in Austin, Texoma, which is Dallas, Great Plains, which is in Oklahoma, our Southern Rock, which is in Memphis, our SCC is in Louisiana, and our Southern Tide is in Alabama. So all of those divisions come together to make a region, and our region manager is Lloyd Reagan. So Drew's job is to make sure I'm doing my job in teaching you guys the right way. Lloyd's job is to make sure Drew's doing his job in teaching me the right way. So it's kind of like that trickle down water effect. So that's where our Southwest region manager is. Do you guys remember the picture of Lloyd that I showed you guys of me standing next to him with the big check? Yep, so that's Lloyd. He's our region manager. And then the president and CEO of Vector is Bruce Goodman, and his headquarters is in San Francisco, California. And you guys know all about Bruce and how awesome and how amazing Bruce is. So that is kind of from the very bottom to the very top, our advancement opportunity. And I do want to say that we are looking for more branch managers. We are looking for more district managers. We are looking for more CSPs. We are also looking for pilot sales managers. We're looking for every single one of those positions I just showed you. We're looking to fill them. Right now, our division is in a very big rebuilding phase, and we want to rebuild with the right people and the right parts. So if you guys are interested in career opportunity and taking this career and doing this 100% full time, there's a lot of options and a lot of opportunity for growth, whether you like more of the sales side, more of the management side, whatever you decide to do. There's room for growth and room for improvement.
Oh, why are you on the rebuilding side? Did it have anything to do with COVID or?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Yeah, COVID really kicked us in the nuts.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, we're looking to rebuild our division, and yeah, we're looking to build with the right people and the right pieces. So, what I want you guys to do next is I want you guys to circle a position that excites you. If you're like, Trey, if I could work really hard and get to this level, that'd be awesome. Or Trey, I want to know more about what it means to be a branch, a district, a CSP, an assistant manager, an AMIT, or pilot sales manager, or whatever it might be. Just be like, hey, that's something that I can see myself doing. That's what I have an interest in, and how can I work towards that? I would love to have that conversation with you guys. Cool? Awesome. Next thing that we're going to go ahead and dive into, be careful. Here we go. Cool. I'm going to show you guys how to make $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000 in your first 2 months on the job. So depending on what your goals and your roles and your expectations are, this is what we can do. So if you want to make $2,000 in your first 2 months on the job, here's what it takes. It takes to getting $10,000 in CPO. I want you guys to write this down in your notes. $10,000 in CPO. Getting to $10,000 in 2 months will be 7 demos a week. 7 demos a week translates to 1 demo per day. So if you do 1 demo per day for 2 months, you guys will hit that $10,000 sales goal, that $2,000 sales level, and hit 30-30. Which is pretty awesome and pretty incredible if you ask me. But in your fast start, if you do 2 demos per day, you'll get there quicker. Next is if you want to make $5,000 in income, this is the level that Savannah Franzoy on our team. She started in late June. And now she's at school and she got to $25,000 in career sales. She's about to hit her 30K promo actually. But she made $5,000 in income this summertime working part-time, and she was on vacation for 3 weeks. So if you want to do what Savannah did and make $5,000, it takes getting to $20,000 in sales. $20,000 in sales. We're just going to double what we did for 10K. So we're going to do 14 demos per week, which is 2 demos a day. We're going to do 2 demos a day. But in your fast start, make sure you do 4 demos per day, and that will help set you up for future success. You're not just cranking out 14 demos all the time, and you'll be at a much higher percent level leaving your fast start to set yourself up for even better and more future success. And then this is the level that I went after when I was an assistant manager and when I was a rep. Do you guys remember I said I made I sold $35,000 in my first 3 months on the job? This is how much money I made. So I made a little over $10,000 in my first 3 months on the job as a high school senior going into my freshman year of college. So what it means to get to this level is you need to sell $33,750 to make exactly $10,000 in income. I just shot for 35 because 33,750 was like a really weird goal to share with my customers. It was like too oddly specific. So I was like, hey, I'm trying to sell $35,000 by the end of the summertime. And they're like, okay, that makes sense. But what that takes is doing 20 demos per week, which is 3 demos a day. So what I did in the summertime is I did a 10, 12, I did a 12, 2, 4 every single day for the entire summer. I had a demo at 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 4 o'clock, so that I got to sleep in. Well, I got to party hard all night, sleep in and recover the next morning, do 4 hours of work, and then make more money than my friends, set myself up for success. But I didn't have that FOMO because I was still going out and partying. I was just taking the middle of my day, the middle of my section to set myself up for future success. So what are the keys to success? The keys to success is work twice as hard in your fast start. Work twice as hard in your fast start. You guys have an amazing opportunity to win a ton of free Cutco. You guys have a ton of opportunities to set yourself up for future success. I know some of you guys are gonna be going to school, some of you guys are gonna be going to college. Some of you guys may have families that you need to take care of. If you can get to 30% in your guys' fast start, or 20, 25%, once again, effort will stay consistent, results will get higher and higher and higher and higher. So work twice as hard in your fast start. Next is consistency on the phone. You heard Michaela tell you guys, you heard Emma tell you guys, you heard Cindy tell you guys. The number one thing that everyone has told you to do in your fast start is call. Hey, I wish I made more phone calls. I wish I did more demos in my fast start so I can win those awesome and sick prizes. Every single person has told you that. In my fast start, I wish I did more too. And my fast start, I wish I made more phone calls. I wish I booked more demos. So take advantage of your fast start, 10, 20, or 30 calls a day. Next, we already talked about it, 5 before and 5 after. It's going to be key. And then 10 demos ahead, 10 demos ahead at all times. And then obviously mentality. Your biggest sales will come after your no sales, and your best days will come after your worst days. We work in sales. Nothing is guaranteed. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs, right? How are you going to roll with the punches, right? Nothing is guaranteed. How can I set myself up every single week so I know I have success? By having 10 demos ahead every single week, because I'm guaranteeing myself a paycheck every single week. How do I make sure I have 10 demos ahead every single week? Making 10, 20, or 30 phone calls every single day. Make sense? Gorgeous. So next thing I want you guys to go ahead and write down is consistency equals CPO. Consistency equals CPO. Consistency equals CPO. Under that, I want you to highlight this, star this, put your favorite cuss word wherever you want to in this statement, but phoning is the answer. Phoning is the answer. If you're like, Trey, I'm making a lot of phone calls, no one's picking up. Cool, make more phone calls. Trey, I don't have a lot of demos ahead. What do? Make more phone calls. Trey, I'm really bad at asking for recommendations and referrals, and I'm really bad at closing. Cool. Make more phone calls, book more demos, because the more you do it, the better you will get at it. You're like, Trey, I'm nervous to make phone calls. Cool. Make more phone calls. You'll be less nervous if you do it a bunch. It is the answer to all of your guys' problems and answer to all of your guys' things that you guys have going on. Do it more. So here's why phoning is the answer to everything. Very similar to what we talked about making $2, $5, or $10,000. Phoning is going to be the answer. So if you want to do 10 phone calls a day, that equals 10K. 10 phone calls a day equals 10K. So if you make 10 calls 5 days a week, you're making 50 calls a week. Do you think if you make 50 calls, you're going to book at least 7 demos? At least, right? So 7 demos a day or 7 demos a week is 1,000 CPO, which is a guaranteed $10,000 in sales for the fall campaign. And that is $2,000 in income if you're starting from scratch. So what does 10 phone calls a day look like? 5 before and 5 after your 1 demo for the day, or 5 phone calls every morning, 5 phone calls every night. Using those same numbers, oh my gosh. Using those same numbers with 20K, 20 calls a day equals 20K. So we make 20 calls 5 days a week. Takes about 100 phone calls. You think if you make 100 phone calls, you can book at least 14 demos? Yeah, easy, right? 14 demos a week translates to about $2,000 in CPO, which is a guaranteed $20,000 in sales for the campaign. So do you think if you sell $20,000, do you know how much money you guys will make?
A lot of money.
A lot of money is right. You'll make $5,000 in income if you're starting from zero. And it all takes just making 20 calls a day. Next, which is either 10 phone calls every night or 5 before or 5 after your 2 demos. And then the last level is 30 calls a day. 30 calls a day equals 30K. So that's 150 phone calls a week, which is 21 demos. 21 demos a week. Why does this keep doing this to me? There we go. So it's a guaranteed 30K for the campaign, which is $8,500 in income if you're starting from zero. 15 phone calls every morning, 15 phone calls every night, or 5 before or 5 after each demo. What I did, because I didn't want to sit down and do hours and hours and hours of phoning, I did 5 before and 5 after my 12 to 4 o'clock appointments. I was making 30 calls a day, doing 3 demos a day, doing demos, booking demos, and constantly staying ahead. And it only took 4 hours of work. It was awesome. It was awesome. So, next thing I want you guys to go ahead and write down with this is just like this little demo consistency. So 1 demo a day equals 10K, which is 7 demos a week, 1,000 CPO, guaranteed 10K. 14 demos a week equals $2,000 in sales, which is a guaranteed $20,000 for the campaign. 3 demos a day equals 30K, which is 21 demos a week, which is $3,000 in sales for the week, which is a guaranteed 30K. So now what I want you guys to do is I want you to circle a level that you guys want to go after. Not circle something that the person next to you is circling, not the number, not the sales goal that you want me to circle for you guys. What is going to be exciting to you? Would doing 1 demo a day excite you? Doing 2 demos a day would excite you? Doing 3 demos a day, would that excite you? Whatever it might be. Thumbs up, everyone got that written down? Gorgeous. So now next thing I want to talk about is what does a part-time schedule and what does a full-time schedule look like here with Vector and Cutco? Here's what it looks like. A part-time schedule with us is about 15 hours a week. Now, where you spend these 15 hours is completely 100% up to you. Besides team meeting and your guys' advanced training, there's no really fixed time for you guys to be doing this job. There's no really fixed time. So, you guys get to pick and choose when all this happens. But we need to make sure that these things happen on a weekly basis when we talk part-time schedule. So 15 hours a week is part-time. 5 demos times 2 hours, which is 10 hours. It factors in drive time, your 5 before or 5 after. If you're doing a lot of virtual demos, you could probably shoot for about 7 demos a week because it's just like closing your Zoom screen and opening up another tab versus driving to customers' houses. So if you're doing this virtually, you can shoot for like 7 demos a week. So in total, 10 hours of demo time. Next is additional phone time. So you can pick 3 45-minute sessions, 45 to an hour sessions, or you can pick 5 30-minute sessions to make phone calls. So I know like Ben, for example, you're going to school here. So like if you have like time in between classes, hey, I'm just gonna crank out my 10. I'm gonna crank out a little phone time, a little 30-minute phone. Next is team meeting. Team meeting is the biggest event that you can go to on a weekly basis outside of your training and advanced training. It's the most important event you could possibly attend. Team meetings are Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. for the fall. And at the time of this recording. And we do have virtual options available for that. So if you live far away or going away for school, you can still be a part of our team meetings and still get that coaching, that mentorship, and that team camaraderie. Next is a weekly one-on-one coaching session with your boy, and those will take about 30 minutes. I got yours today. Ben, I did yours yesterday as well. Today I think I like 4 o'clock or 3:30 or something.
Oh, just like last night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. I forget when
I thought
exactly.
I thought I like missed an email and it was like later
No.
today or something. I was like, but I got appointments.
No. I think it's right after this, actually, now I think about it. But anyway, let's do some math. Let's see if these numbers math out. So if you have a $250 average order with 60% closing, right now our office average order is around like 415, 420. Company average order is 300 or no 350. But we're gonna go conservative, and we're gonna use conservative numbers to guarantee this no matter what. So if you have a $250 average order with a 60% close, you're doing 5 demos a week over 15 weeks, that's 75 demos. That means you're gonna make 45 sales, which means you'll sell anywhere from 10 to 15K, which means you're making $2,000 to $3,500 in income part-time, working 15 hours a week for the next 2 months. Now, if you're doing it over 10 weeks, 5 demos over 10 weeks is 50 demos, 30 sales, anywhere from 7,500 to 10K, which means you're making anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 in income if you're starting from 0, which all of you guys are basically starting from 0. Does that math out? That math do be mathing. Hardcore mathing. So next is a full-time schedule. What does a full-time schedule really look like? And what are the full-time expectations of our reps that say, hey, I want to do this job full-time? That's doing 10 demos a week. So 2 hours each would be 20 hours. So that gives time for 5 before, 5 after, drive time. And if you're doing virtual demos, shoot for 15 to 12 to 15 demos a week if you're doing mainly virtual demos. Now, if you're going to be doing more demos, you need more phone time, right? So you can pick 5 1-hour sessions or 10 30-minute sessions. Next is a 2-hour-long team meeting. Stays pretty consistent. Once again, team meeting is the most important event you could possibly come to on a weekly basis. Come to team meetings. Next is a weekly coaching session with me. These will be an hour long once you get better at the job and once you guys are going more full-time and diving in. I spend a lot of time with our assistant manager squad. I spend a lot of time with our top reps that are doing more demos because they have more questions and they're learning more. So I want to make sure that I'm diving in a little bit longer with them. Next is a workshop, office time, and business development. So that's stuff like phone jams, stuff like coming to the office and to make phone calls, building your names list, getting more names and numbers, getting a schedule organized, making sure that your business is organized. That could be calendar stuff, whatever it might be, just 2 hours of kind of that business development side of things. So when you do more demos in a shorter period of time, our numbers go up, right? So slightly bumping our numbers. If you have a $300 average order with a 66% close, and averages increase with repetition and experience. So 10 demos over 15 weeks is 150 demos. At 66% close, you'll make 100 sales. If you make 100 sales with a $300 average order, that's $30,000 in sales, which means you'll make $8,500 in income in 2 months if you're starting from 0. If you want to do this in 10 weeks, 10 demos over 10 weeks, 100 demos, 66 sales, $2,000 or $20,000 in sales, $5,000 in income if you're starting from 0. So that is what a part-time and full-time schedule looks like. So when you guys are like, Trey, I just want to work more part-time. Cool. So you're going to be booking more demos then, right? Because I'll have like reps that are like, oh, I'm doing like 2-3 demos a week and it's just like way too much. I want to work part-time. It's like 2 more demos then. Anyway, but besides the point. So this is what our full-time and part-time kind of expectations are. Obviously, work to your strengths, work around your life and all that other fun stuff. But these are our part-time, full-time expectations. Nicole.
For the team meetings,
Hey, Jen.
when we come into the office, is that like paid time? Or,
Nope, you only get paid for your demos and your sales. But do you think it'd be worth it to come to team meeting if I'm going to teach you how to sell more and how to grow your business? And if you're learning all these awesome and amazing skills, do you think that you would sell more?
Yeah.
So do you think it's worth the time and worth the investment to come to team meeting?
yes,
It's like, so you guys probably noticed the arrow hanging up. So I'll give you guys the arrow talk. An arrow by itself is pointless. It won't do anything, right? An arrow won't do anything by itself. You need to put it in the bow and it needs to go back before it can go forward. Right? So just like coming to advanced trainings, just like coming to team meetings, like having coaching sessions with me, you're pulling your arrow back. So when you get to your demos and you get your presentations, you can let that arrow fly and it will go as far as you want it to. So that's why we have an arrow. But that's kind of the point of our meetings, and the more you learn, the more you earn, investing that time into things.
for that,
Ah, beautiful, my favorite part of advanced training. So this is the trade-in special and the secret weapon. I'm about to teach you guys how to sell a set every single time that you guys do a demo. And it's going to be awesome. Who's excited to learn how to sell a set every single time you guys do a demo?
This motherfucker right here.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
sorry.
So-
It's right there.
These motherfuckers. All right, awesome. So this is the trade-in special or the secret weapon. So a couple things I want you guys to write down. The trade-in special gives a customer a great deal on trading in their old knives. So they will give you their old knives, and in return, you will give them an amazing deal on Cutco. So you will use the trade-in. So the trade-in special, you will use it in one of 3 ways, in one of 3 situations, and one of 3 circumstances. So 1, you will use the trade-in special if the customer already has decent knives. So if they have Shun, Henkel's, Wusthof, Chicago, and they're like, oh, Trey, I already have nice knives. Like, they're not the best, but they're not the worst, right? That's when you would kind of use it. Next, if the customer isn't motivated by the free stuff, so like if we're like, hey, the buy now bonus, you can get the kitchen tools, entertainer pack, or super shears. If they're not motivated by that, and they're not inspired by that, and they're like, I really don't really care about the free stuff, I just like a better price, that's when you can use this. And then the third time that you can use this is if your customer feels like they can't afford a set. So who heard one of these 3 objections? Either they already have nice knives, they don't want the free stuff, or they feel like it was too expensive. Who heard those objections this weekend? Yes. So that would be a perfect time to whip out the trade-in special and use this. So here's how you set it up. You're going to say, we have a special program for our customers called the trade-in special. What I can do is if you decide to get this set today, I can take 20% off the price instead of giving you the free items. All you have to do is trade in one of your least favorite knives. So with that being said, we cannot stack deals and we cannot stack discounts. Your customer can either get more free stuff or a better price, but not both. So your customer can't be like, oh, can I do a trade-in homemaker set and get the super shears for free? Nope, it's one or the other. It's one or the other, not both. So that's how you explain it. What I can do is, if you decide to get this set today, I can take 20% off the price instead of giving you the free items. All you have to do is trade in one of your least favorite knives to me, and then in turn, I will give you an awesome and incredible discount. And then you got to ask for the order. So you're gonna say, this would make this homemaker set that you really like go for blank instead of blank. How does that sound? And if they say no, you can say, of course, you can still put that on a payment plan, interest-free, making the set only blank per month on a 5-pay. How does that sound? So let me show you guys how to write this up and how to do this on your Cutco orders.
Is this for only in person?
This can be for virtual as well,
How do you treat it?
very carefully. No, you would just say like, hey, just like go donate your knives to like Goodwill or like a soup kitchen, and I'll give you the deal and the discount for your virtual, something like that. You know, be a problem solver. Make sense? Cool. So let's go to our Cutco orders. And let's see how this works. So what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to go to your shop tab. You're going to scroll down and you're going to go to B block sets. Now, what do you guys notice about these sets that are different than our normal sets? No table or steak knives. That's exactly right. So what they're doing is they're getting a homemaker plus 8 for the price of a homemaker set.
Sorry.
1 second. So what you're going to do instead of paying that $15.49, they're going to be paying $12.25. So what you're going to do is you're going to add that into the cart, and then you're going to look up table knife, change the quantity to match the set. So with our homemaker plus 8, we'll put 8 table knives in there, and then we will bonus that off. So when we look at value, everything in the cart is valued at $17.94. So if we pieced out everything individually before our set discount, everything that they're getting today is valued at $17.94. Today, they are only paying $12.25, which is a 20% discount, and they're getting $400 off the price of the homemaker set, which is pretty awesome. And you can do this for any block set. So for any block set, you can't do it with the kitchenette or the all knife or any of our other smaller starter sets. It has to be one of these block sets. So even if we're your customer, like you drop down and you're looking at like a studio set and you do 4, it's an even better deal. It's a 24% discount, and it's on a 5-pay, it's $105 for 5 months. Now you guys are probably thinking, Trey, that homemaker price looks a little suspiciously familiar. You guys notice these prices, $12.25, which is a $324 discount. So the trade-in special is also your Silver Cup First Weekend specials. And you guys can use these specials past this weekend. You guys can use these whenever you want with whoever you want.
We still need to call you.
Absolutely. Who's a little pissed off I didn't teach you guys this in training?
I mean, you told me like during one of my demos.
But you didn't know you could do all this. Yeah. When I told Savannah this, she like freaked out. She goes, I could have made so many more sets.
I'm so mad right now. I have no idea.
And Savannah said, I have some phone calls to make. So you got some phone calls you need to make. I got some phone calls to make. So that is our trade-in special and our trade-in special or our secret weapon. So next thing on the agenda for advanced training. Next thing is I want to talk a little bit about bonus points and how to give stuff away for free. So Drew has a very complicated explanation on how he does all of this. I want to break it down and make it real simple for y'all. Here's how you order right and do deals. You're going to ask your customer this question. Once you have everything in their cart and they have everything that they like, and they say, yep, these are all the items, you're going to ask them this question. You're going to say, do you want a better price on these items? Or do you want more free stuff? Do you want a better price on these items? Or do you want more free stuff? That is the question that you are going to ask your
Yeah.
customers. And then from there, you know how to work. So if they say, I want more free stuff, you can say, hey, let's go shopping. Let's see what I can get you for free. Let me call my manager. And then you're going to call me and I will help you close. Or if they want a better price, you're going to say, perfect, let me call my manager and let me see what we can do. And then you will call me and you will get a better price. Make sense? Cool. So if your customer only gets 2 knives, is it possible for them to get a better price on 2 items? No, we can't do a buy one, get one free. We cannot do that. It's too many bonus points. You'll go past your spending limit. Now, if they're doing like a Pick 5 special and they want a pair of super shears for free, could we do that? Yes, absolutely. Or if they're getting this homemaker set and they want to get more free stuff, would they be able to get more free stuff? Yes, absolutely. So make sure that when you're doing deal writing and order writing, you can't be like, oh, let me call my manager on these 2 knives and see what better price I can give you. No, it doesn't work like that. You need a little bit more items. The more you get today, the more you save, right? So we need to know everything that they're kind of sort of interested in so that I can make them the best deal possible. And so you guys can give them the best deal possible today as well. Make sense? Gorgeous. So next thing I want to talk about is the chicken list. So I want you guys to go ahead and turn to a new page. I want you to title this the chicken list. What is the chicken list? The chicken list is those people that are on your names list that you're a little too nervous and that you're a little too scared to give a call to. I know you guys all have people on your guys' names list that you're nervous and like every time like you're doing a phone gym, like you see their name and you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna skip on to the next one. I'm not dumb, I'm not stupid. I know that there's people on your list that you guys haven't given a call to, that you're a little too chicken to. How do I know that? Been there, done that. So I want to tell you guys the story about the 2 people that I had on my chicken list. And then from there, we're going to create our chicken list and then we're going to work on our names list and dive into the phone for our phone jam from 1 to 2 o'clock. That's going to be kind of the rest of the agenda. So on my chicken list, I had 2 people on my chicken list. First person was Rex Reed. Rex Reed was my neighbor. He lived 2 doors down from me. And Rex was an ex-Marine. Homeboy was built and looked like a G.I. Joe. Homeboy walked sideways through doors, all tatted up. I'm pretty sure he's killed people before, right? He's a real deal killer, right? And he's the scariest dude I've ever seen in my entire life. And he was always outside, like working on his lawn. And like I would drive home from basketball practice with like my music blaring, being a classic 16-year-old. And he would like yell at me for having my music too loud. Like I would drive by and he was like watering his lawn. He would like spray my car. He's like, turn it down. Stop driving so fast. I'm like, sorry, Rex. Please don't kill me. Right. But since Rex was always outside working on his lawn and my dad was always outside working on his lawn, guess who became best friends with Rex? My dad. And because my dad was outside all the time talking to Rex, guess who my mom became best friends with? His wife, Melissa. So they were always outside. They were always chopping it up. And I'm like, Mom, Dad, you guys are talking to the enemy. I was like, Rex isn't like, he's crazy. Like he like sprays water on my car and is like always yelling at me. Like, do you see his tattoos? He's killed people before. What makes you think that he want to kill you? Like I was terrified of this guy. And we were going to a big sales competition. It's called a push week. It's a chance to redo your guys' fast start, knowing all the stuff that you know now, but still go hard in your fast start so you guys can get those cool prizes. But we were doing a push week competition. I went up to my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm in this huge push week competition. Is there anyone else that you could possibly recommend me to so I can call them and do a demo for them? And she goes, oh yeah, I actually just got inside talking with Rex and Melissa. You should go across the street and show them. No. Anyone else? Anyone else that we could do a presentation for? And my mom gave me like the stern look. Like, you know, when your mom, like her, like she drops her face and like looks at you and you're just like, I'm about to get a lecture and I'm about to get my shit ran. Yeah, my mom gave me that look. And she goes, Trey, you have one of two choices. Either 1, you'll be grounded and you won't be allowed to leave the house. So during your push week, you don't only do virtual demos. Or you can go over across the street and ask Rex and Melissa for a demo. Your choice. What do you want to do?
Rough.
Very. My mom's a stone cold. My mom's stone cold. She don't care. And I was like, okay. So I walked over, knocked on the door. Rex and Melissa answered. I was like, hi, I just started this great new job showing Cutco, and as a part of my training, I'm required to put on some initial training appointments. I read my script to them, like I hadn't memorized at this point. So I just like said it out loud to them. And they're like, oh yeah, are you free right now? I was like, sure. And they were like, all right, come on over, do your demo with us. And I was like, okay. And so like I did a presentation with them. I asked for the order and I was like, do you want to get this homemaker set today and receive your free set of gifts? And it got quiet, like scary quiet. And for a long time too. Like, when people can like talk through like facial expressions and they're having a conversation up here with no words and you're just sitting there just like, that's what literally happened. And then it was like quiet for like 5 minutes. And they were like looking at me, looking at the knives, looking at each other. And Rex was like, also was like, he was like, right, the entire time. And then they both looked at me and nodded in unison. And they said, we'll get it today. And I was like, what the heck just happened? So I sold them a red homemaker set with a pair of super shoes for free. Ended up being one of my biggest demos and one of my biggest sales. And I got 15 recommendations and referrals. All of Melissa's friends are super dope and super awesome. Every single person that Melissa recommended me to, I sold them something. That one demo led to thousands upon thousands of sales, dollars of sales through the recommendations and referrals. And I sold them a homemaker set. So what I want you guys to go ahead and write down for me under the chicken list is when your goals become bigger than your fears. When your goals become bigger than your fears, that is when you call people on your chicken list. When your goals become bigger than your fears, that's when you call people on your chicken list. Now, I didn't have very many people on my chicken list just because I was the type of dude who I really just didn't care. But Rex scared me. And do you guys remember how I said in training, we're going to talk about me going to Hawaii and doing the cliff diving and cliff jumping? I said, we're going to talk about that in advanced training. Yeah, so this is that story. So I didn't know I was scared of heights until I was there up on the top of the cliff, right? And so I get up to the top of the cliff, and I hate having salespeople as friends because they'll convince you to do anything. And so I'm up there and I'm looking over the edge, and like my heart starts pounding. I'm getting nervous. I start sweating. I'm starting to get like a little lightheaded, a little dizzy. My heart like drops to my stomach, and like I feel it in my throat. I'm like, I'm not sure about this, guys. And like I was just thinking about all the situations and how everything can go wrong, like worst case scenarios. It's like, what if I don't jump far enough and like break my neck and die in the ocean? What if I like land on a turtle and like I get knocked out and I like drown and I fall to the bottom? Like, what if this, what if this, what if that, what if that? And I started freaking myself out a little bit. And I was like, I had so much like built up anxiety. I was like, this is really scary. And my friends were like, bro, chill out, bro. You tell your reps to call people that they're scared of all the time. You ask them to step outside their comfort zone all the time. You ask them to do things that make them uncomfortable, and you're not going to jump off a cliff into 30 feet of water. It's like, yeah, you're right, but this is really scary. And they're like, hey, do what you tell your reps. Feel the fear. Don't think about it. Just do it and jump off and face your fears, dude. Literally jump off the cliff. I was like, yeah, you guys are right. I was like, it would be so hypocritical of me to ask you guys to do something that makes you uncomfortable or that you might be a little scared of without me willing to do that first. And so I got to the edge of the cliff. I was looking down. I was getting nervous again. All those thoughts came back, and I just said, screw it. I was like, I'm not going to overthink this. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to jump. I played basketball. I've jumped a billion times in my life before. I'm just going to jump. There's just going to be no floor to catch me. It's just going to be water. And somehow that made it better for me. I don't know. So I get to the edge and I jump off. I fall, splash, hit the water. I come up, take a big like breath of air. I was like, ugh. I'm alive. I did it. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. So with that being said, I will never force you guys to do something that you're uncomfortable doing. Now, will I highly encourage? Absolutely. While I highly encourage you to talk to the people on your chicken list, yes, absolutely. While I highly encourage you to step outside your comfort zone and do things that make you a little uncomfortable and do things that might scare you, absolutely. I'm not going to force you to do that. That's not the type of manager I am. I'm not going to be like, oh, what are you, two chicken? Blah, blah. Like, I'm not going to do that, right? But when your goals become bigger than your fears, that's when you step outside and take that action and take that step towards your goals, whatever your goals might be. And this is not only a Cutco lesson, this is also a life lesson. There's going to be a lot of things in your guys' life that scare you, a lot of things that you might be uncomfortable with. And there's going to be a lot of times where you have to face that fear. It's a step up or step out moment. And for me, I prefer to step up in a lot of those situations. I know that you guys are the type of people that like to step up, because if you weren't, we wouldn't be here on a Monday afternoon talking about knives. So with that being said, I'm going to highly encourage you guys to call someone that's on your chicken list. They will end up being one of your biggest and or best sales that you will have for the entire summertime. Every single person that was on my chicken list ended up buying something from me, along with all their referrals and all their recommendations. And Melissa and Rex actually really helped me build the rest of my summer up so I could hit my goal of selling $35,000 in my first month. And if it wasn't for them doing that presentation, if it wasn't for me taking that fear and taking that step to jump off that cliff, I would have never had that experience before. I would have missed out on thousands of dollars worth of sales. I would have missed out on a lot of life experiences if I didn't face my fear and step outside of your comfort zone. So you guys remember how I said in the interview, you guys are going to have a lot of personal growth along with professional growth? This is a little bit of the personal growth side of things. All right. So with that being said, call people on your chicken list. So transitioning, yes, question.
Really quick, on Friday during training, you said no door to door.
Don't go door to door. The only reason why I went to Rex and Melissa is because they were friends with my parents and they lived 2 doors down from me.
Okay.
Don't go door to door. Please don't do that. That is not something that we do. Don't cold call, don't solicit. Don't do any of that. The only reason I went over to their house was because they lived literally 2 doors down from me and they were friends with my parents.
Your mom didn't really give you an option.
And my mom didn't give me a choice. She bullied me. My mom bullied me. So next thing that we're going to go ahead and talk about and dive into is our names list activity. So do you guys remember in training how me and Drew were just giving you a bunch of thought joggers of people to call and do a demo and do a presentation for? We're going to do that activity again. So I want you guys to turn to a brand new page in your notes, or like draw a squiggly line and retitle this names list. This is going to be our names list activity. So I'm going to say some names of some people, and I want you guys to go ahead and write their names down. So for example, I'm going to say, Ryder, do you know anyone that are twins?
No.
Cool. Do you know what was your favorite teacher's name in high school?
This day.
Miss Day. Miss Day is also a stud. I love Miss Day. Anyway, me and Ryder went to the same high school. I'm not sure if you guys knew that or not, but yeah. So he would write down Miss Karina Day, and then he would write down the next person. So a couple things. One, in this section, I'm going to be asking for an abundant mindset. What is an abundant mindset? That means you know anyone and everyone. You are the cool guys. You are the cool girls. You guys are the people that know anyone and everyone. Second thing that I'm going to ask for is for you guys to write down every single person's name that pops into mind. Even if you would never call that person in a billion years, one person might make you think of another person, which might make you think of another person. Now, I'm not going to force you to call these people, but it's good to have the names. It's good to have that target list. All right, so I'm about to dive in, and I'm just going to be spitting a lot of like names and thought joggers at you guys. I just want you guys writing constantly. Sound good? Gorgeous. So who's in your friend group? Who is your best friend from high school? Who's your best friend in college? Who's your best friend in elementary school? Write those people down. What about your favorite teachers? Who is your favorite teachers? Who do you know that are twins? Who do you know that plays soccer? Who do you know that's like a workaholic and works like 60 hours a week? And you're like, dude, do you ever take a break? Who did you play little league sports with? Soccer, basketball, track, football, wrestling. Who do you guys do little league with? Whose mom is in the PTA? Whose mom was like always walking up and down the halls in high school? And you're like, oh my gosh, dude, your mom is always here. What about people from your current church, chapel, synagogue, mosque? And what about the people from those religious organizations, whatever religion you decide to practice? What about people from your religious organizations? Who do you know that has like life insurance? Who do you know that has like a whole ass life? Who's your most ambitious friend who is like always working and going above and beyond in everything? I know that you guys probably have a lot of hobbies. Who do you do your hobbies with? Who do you know that likes to go bowling? What about your minister, your deacon, your priest, or your rabbi, or any religious leaders or religious figures that are important to you in your life? What about your relatives? So like aunt, uncle, cousins, second cousins, stepmom, stepdad, step grandpa, step grandma. What about those people? Who do you know that has the most integrity? Who's your most trustworthy friend? That like that one person you can always call and they can always answer and be in there and like have your back? Who's the most trustworthy person? Who's your guys' doctor? Who's your dentist? Who's your chiropractor? I sold to my dentist, Dr. Johnson, and he bought a signature set from me. My mom gave him more than enough money to make my teeth straight. The least he can do is buy a signature set from me. So your doctor, dentist, or your orthodontist, your shrink, who do you know that has the best smile? Who do you know that's bald? Who do you know that works nights? If you have a church directory, those people. Who do you know that just had a baby? Who do you know that works security? Who do you call for help in a bad situation? Who's the last person you guys saw or talked to before you guys came here? Who loaned you a book? What about your in-laws friends? If you have brothers or sisters-in-laws, what about them or their friends? Who do you know that likes, what about your in-laws? Who's the shortest person you know? Who's the tallest person you know? Who rides the bus, the train, or uses public transportation? Who has the prettiest wife? Who has the hottest mom? Shout out Johnny Bame's mom, Shelly, or Smoke Show. Anyway, who's the biggest person you know? What about your sports coaches, basketball coaches, soccer coaches, wrestling coaches, theater teachers? What about those types of people? Who is the head of your student council? Who's the teacher that sponsored student council? Who did you do clubs with in high school? Who do you know that scuba dives? What about any old babysitters? If you had a nanny, what about your nanny? Who do you know that smokes? Who do you know that quit smoking? Parents of children's friends. Yeah, what about your kids, friends, parents? What about your guys' college professors? Who do you know that works in a spa? Who do you know that's on a diet? Who do you know that sent you Christmas cards? Every single year, my entire refrigerator gets covered in cards of random people that I don't know, but they're like friends with my mom. Who do you know that runs a daycare? Who do you know that sells cars? Who is your childhood playmate? Who do you know that has a really awesome beard or a really awesome mustache? Who do you know that drives a really small car? Who do you know that drives a really expensive car? Who do you know that has red hair and freckles? Who do you know that plays guitar? Who does your family go on vacation with? Do you do family vacations with other people? Who does your mom go on vacation with? Who does your dad go on vacation with? Who was in your wedding party? Who do you know that has a deep voice? Who was the best man at your wedding? Who were your groomsmen at your wedding? Who was your maid of honor? Who was your bridesmaids? What about your old bosses? Who do you know that drives a big pickup truck? Who do you know that works in a restaurant? Who bought a car from you? If you know any electricians, any plumbers, who do you know that's on crutches? Who do you know that has a really cool couch or has like a lot of fancy furniture at their house? Who do you know that works at a clothing store? Who's the most fashionable person who's always wearing fancy clothes? Like, dude, how are you affording all these fancy clothes? What about your barber or your beautician? Where do you get your nails done? Where do you get your hairs done? Where do you go to get your hair cut? Who dyes your hair? Who cuts your hair? What about your pharmacist? Who do you know that works at a grocery store? Write them down. Who do you know that sells tires? What about your mechanic? Who do you like to work out with? Who are your brother and sister's friends? My sister, she's 7 years older than me, and all of her friends are Mac customers now. So I was like, hey, can I get some of your friends' names and numbers? And then can I get their parents' names and numbers? My little brother, he's 16. He's going to be a senior at Rampart this year. And I'm like, hey, I'll give you $40 if you give me 40 of your friends' parents' names and numbers. He's like, bet. Gave him $40. He gave me 40 numbers. I made that money back instantly. So if you have little siblings, think about their friends' parents. Who do you know that likes to fish? What about your parents' friends? Who's the most likable person you know? Who's the best salesperson you know? Who do you know that just bought a new car? Who's your mailman? Who's your apartment manager? Who do you know that goes to the YMCA a lot? Who's your most enthusiastic person? Who did you do Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, or Girl Scouts with? Do you know any Eagle Scouts? A lot of my friends are actually Eagle Scouts when I think about it. But think about those people. Who do you know that's thrifting, likes to thrift? Who's your most successful friend? Who do you know that does really odd jobs? Who do you know that's a carpenter? Who do you know that's in management? Who do you know that drives a truck? Who do you know that's in engineering? Who do you know that plays softball? What about your guys' lawyers? If you guys have a lawyer or attorney, or know any lawyers and attorneys, who do you know that works in a factory? What about your neighbors? What about the people who live behind you? Who lives in front of you? Who lives to the sides of you? Who lives diagonally from you? Who lives diagonally behind you? What about people from your former neighborhood? What about those people? People from where you grew up. If you're not from Colorado and moved to Colorado, people that you grew up with. If you moved neighborhoods, who was in your neighborhood when you grew up? Who do you know from school? So school reunions, class reunions. What about your spouses or significant others? What about their friends? What about their parents? What about their cousins, their in-laws, their aunts, their uncles, their second cousins, their in-laws? Who do you know that's a secretary? If your parents live in two different neighborhoods, what about your parents' neighbors? What about mom's neighbors? What about dad's neighbors? Who do you know that just got married? Who's your most attractive friend? Who do you know that has a son that just got married? Who do you know that has a daughter that just got married? Aunts, uncles, cousins, parents. Who do you know that's the most noble? Who do you know that has the best personality, where every time you talk to them, interact with them, you just got a smile on your face? Who's that person? Who do you know that skis? So who do you know that goes up to Breckenridge, Vail, Aspen, Copper Mountain? Who do you know that skis a lot? Who do you know that's got the Icon Pass? Who do you golf with? Or who does your dad golf with? Who do your parents golf with? Think about those people. Who do you play cards with? Who do you know that's a waitress? If someone likes to do like big game hunting and they like to hunt like a lot of deers, and they do like a lot of turkey hunting, pheasant hunting, and all that other stuff. Who do you know that's in the church choir? Who's your principal of your old high school? Who's like the president of your college? Who do you know that works in the post office? Who's your funniest friend that likes to tell jokes and stories all the time? Who do you know that's a policeman? Who do you know that's a fireman? Who do you know that works in a hospital? What about any of your friends that are nurses? Who do you know that owns their own business? Who lives in your old house? So who moved in when you moved out? Who do you used to work with who do you used to work with at your other jobs? Who do you know that's a bartender? Who was your wedding photographer? Who took your senior year photos? Write those people down. Who do you know that swims? Who was on the swim team? Who was on the dive team? Who do you know that lifts weights? So a lot of the football players at your high school and at your college, can you reach back out to them? If you have a driver or a chauffeur, who do you know that talks a lot? Football team, who is your high school quarterback? Who is your corners? Who is your receivers? Who is on the defensive line? Who is on the offensive line? Who do you know that has blonde hair? Who do you know that knows how to fly planes? Who do you know that's bilingual? Who do you know that's a wrestler? Who do you know who has a really strong Southern accent? Who do you know that has a really strong East Coast accent from New York? Who's your ugliest friend? Sad face. But who's your ugliest friend? Who do you know that plays tennis? And who do you know that drives a van? I'm out of time and I'm out of breath. So I hope this was helpful. So yeah, pretty good list going, right? So the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is our team builder scholarship. And then we're going to dive into a phone jam. We're going to take like probably about like a 10 or 5 minute break for you guys to go to the bathroom, intermingle. I need to check on Anthony and Taylor, making sure they're actually working. But we're going to do that here in a second. But this is our Southwest Region Team Builder Scholarship Competition. So this is for all of our college students that are currently in college, or if you're thinking about going back. You can win this. If you're not in school, you can also win a team builder scholarship that will help pay for whatever you want. You can also compete for a silver cup as well if you're not currently in school. So it's your sales plus your friend's sales. You guys come together and add up to win money. So the first place winner will win $1,000. Second place will win $650. 3 through 5 will win 300, 6 through 10 will win 200, and 11 through 25 will win 100. And that's for campaign 2. So that's from May until August. And campaign 1 and campaign 2, the number 1 person will win $1,000. Number 2 will win 500. 3 through 5 will win 200, and 6 through 10 will win $100. So this is a very easy way to help pay for books, help pay for classes, or even help pay for a class or stuff for your dorm room. So the qualifications, it's based on total PR team builder sales. So total sponsor CPO plus all other sponsors, qualified PRs on the team. So your sales plus your friend's sales. It's every campaign, and you guys must have a combined CPO for more than 250 CPO, which means if you place an order, you're already in the race, which is perfect. But until you make your first sale, you don't qualify for it. So like, let's say, for example, I sell nothing, but all my friends sell stuff. I won't get the scholarship until I make at least a $250 sale, which is pretty easy to do. You must have a minimum of 3 friends on the team to become eligible for it, and it resets every campaign. So you guys could win up to a total, if you were number 1 for campaign 1, 2, and 3, you guys could win $3,000 every single year, which is pretty cool. So this is our region team builder. We also have our national team builder as well. So you can win $6,000 in sales, or $6,000 in scholarship money per year, per campaign, if you're number 1 every campaign, which could pay for a lot of your guys' school. Includes sales from new PRs recruited during the current campaign, and cash scholarship is awarded to the PR team sponsor only. So that means, like, if you and all your friends get together and let's say, Ryder, you win the scholarship and you win $1,000, you win the $1,000, your friends don't win the $1,000. But also the incentive for your friends to sell is so that they can get people on the team, so then they can win a scholarship as well. So that's a little bit more about our team builder scholarship. So I hope you guys learned a lot in advanced training. I also have this recorded, so anyone who's watching this who might have missed advanced training, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Send me 7 takeaways, 7 things that you guys learned if you did not come in person for your advanced training, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Bye. Gotta do like the YouTubers do, you know?